My name's Thomas Waddle, this is the Whisky Sour Hour, and we're joined by Euan Borthwick. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm alright, bit nervous, man, in a studio for the first time.
Which change of scenery.
Quite exciting. So thanks to Tommy for Route 760 Studios for allowing us some space here to do this, so up in Kilburnie. How's things? You alright?
Good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Warm, but
it's very.
So we're doing good, mate. We're doing good. Listen, just wanted to say thanks for coming on. I know you've got like a big fight coming up. You're 1-0 at the moment, so we can listen. We'll chat all about that. But how is preparations going so far for that?
We're going well so far. Currently, I started about for 12 weeks from the fight. I started mainly just building conditioning, strength, skills, making sure everything's sharp, ready. I'm physically ready, I'm mentally ready. And just to get the...
Just kind of get the flow back.
Aye.
Because your last fight your debut was in October.
Which was a while ago.
How did you find the prep from like October to now? Like you're saying, it's a wee while. Did you find there was a bit of rust?
I feel there was a lot of change. We looked back at the last fight and seen there was changes to be made. Well, personally, I thought that they sharpened up different tools in different areas. So we went back and looked. So there's been a lot of different drills, mainly covering grappling, wrestling, that sort of thing. Mainly, we looked at, I was doing with one of my PTs. We were watching over the fight, seeing how my opponent moves, how my opponent works, and we're just drilling to counter everything.
That's it, rinse and repeat.
Aye, just constant rinse and repeat.
No, so obviously, coming up to your second fight, to even get to this point is huge. So what was it that like got you into it? Because I mean, like age-wise, if you don't mind me asking, is it
23?
23. So it's like, you know, you've kind of grew up in a time where like MMA is pretty much ubiquitous. It's like everywhere. And it's like there's like, almost like generations. You've got the folk feel like they kind of watched it in the 90s where it was just carnage. It was crazy. Aye. Then you've got it when it became like, obviously dead legitimate. But everybody had like a speciality, like, oh, this guy does wrestling, this guy's a boxer, kickboxer, that kind of stuff. Now you've got folk coming in and they're just hybrid, they're just actually good at everything, like that GSP kind of style. So what was it that got you into it? Did you see it, watch it somewhere? I'm going to assume it was like UFC or maybe something.
I'd liked it for quite a while and I'd wanted to start something that would help confidence, that sort of thing for the gym. And I'd recently suffered a close family loss, so I was a bit personally lost at the time, and I found the joy in mixed martial arts. And it started about maybe 2.5, 3 years ago now. And it's just, I'd never actually expected to start competing. I would only expect to do it as a hobby, just to build confidence, self-defence, that sort of thing. And I'd done one charity fight, maybe, I think that was April of 2024. I'd done my first charity fight just to see what it was like and how it would be in front of a crowd with lights or the heat. And I really enjoyed it. I managed to win that first charity bout, done another one in November that same year, won that one as well. And I decided to go for my first amateur fight which was October last year, and I decided to do it about maybe March, April time. I put my name in for the fight up at Braveheart Promotions, and it's just kind of started from there, and it's just continuing to build on it now. So
like that, I mean, like you're saying, to gain confidence for, you know, you originally started it just for, you know, something to kind of keep you occupied.
Yep.
And then you're at the point now where you're actually putting your name into the hat for a fight in that. So when was that? Was that the March or the April, did you say you were doing that?
Yep.
And then you had the kind of time all the way up to your October
to
fight
train and prep, yeah.
What's that like? How do you manage the emotions?
It can be I'm quite big on the power of learning mindfulness, meditation, reading, journaling. I think doing martial arts is a lot of it's mental, because a lot of times your thoughts can overwhelm you fighting on the night. It can be really nerving. You're backstage, you're waiting, you can hear the crowd, the nerves start. It's a nerving but an exciting experience at the same time.
Gladiators waiting to go into the Colosseum, man. What's going on out there?
It's pretty much what it is. You can hear it. It's kind of like tunnel visioned. It feels like it's echoing, but it's not.
It's almost like you're having to like you're aiming to be at your peak at like the exact time and try to kind of get everything sharp, and you're not just trying to get your skills, you're making sure your weight's right. You're fighting at 155, is that correct?
Yep.
So, you know, like there's like so many things. It's like jumping off a diving board into like a shot glass. You're trying to get it.
There's so many different things you need to keep in. How would I explain that?
You've got like loads of plates that you're spinning, trying to kind of keep them.
You've got loads of different things you're trying to keep.
So how do you manage that? Obviously, you do a lot yourself. You mentioned like your journaling and that. You know, at your gym, which you do a lot of travelling to get to, which is, you know, just for prior talking in the car on the way up and that, you know, like going to Clydebank, we know, like, driving is that's dedication.
Training,
So, how do you, like, yourself are managing it? Do you have coaches that help as well with it?
Yeah, we've up at the gym I've recently moved to, which is Strada Fight Team. They've got amazing coaches there. They've got an MMA coach who's really good, Hamish. They've got a Muay Thai coach, Flynn, who's really talented as well, who's been over in Thailand, had many fights. And we've just got a new boxing coach in, Joe Ham, who was a professional as well, won titles as well. So there's a really good gym up there, good coaches. The team's brilliant, and all the boys are brand new. And it's just a really good environment to be a part of.
So when you got into it originally, did you pick something particular? You were like, oh, I actually really enjoy this aspect of it. Did you go for the whole thing, or were you like, oh, I like jiu-jitsu, I like boxing? What was your kind of draw?
I taken I liked the striking with the kicks and the punching. It was mainly grappling. I know grappling was needed. So we've started grappling a lot more, and I've started finding a lot more joy in grappling now. And when I first started, I mainly took a shine to the striking aspect to it, but after the first fight, I realised that they need more. We do need a lot more grappling training.
Of course, like it's one of the things. Like growing up, kind of watching the people that found success. Like in the early kind of days, it was always like your wrestlers that would just drag you to the ground. Your jiu-jitsus are going to rip your arm off. When there was a summer in 2014. I watched the Commonwealth Games, got right into kind of freestyle wrestling, and I went to a gym up in Dumbarton, the unit, I don't know if it's there anymore, but I went for like a summer, and the grappling was macking a bit, and I was watching the folk like doing your kind of kickboxing, taekwondo and stuff, and I was like, wow man, I can't lift my leg that high, but I can drag you to the ground and stick my head under your chin. There is something so uncomfortable, you'll know yourself, like grappling and getting pressed up against the cage and somebody's in your space. I'd never felt anything like that before. That was horrific, man.
It really is uncomfortable, especially if you're pressed up against the cage, you've got the cage fence there pressing up against you. It's no good, and it is tempting to just stick your horn in the cage and drag yourself. Try and fit your horns right in the cage. You gotta get filled for that.
No, that's it. So, like, you've kind of done that. Was it a like Muay Thai kind of background? You were kind of like, was it?
No, I'd actually never actually done much martial arts at all before I started MMA. I'd only done I got a couple of belts in Shotokan karate when I was a small boy, but that was about the most I'd done. It was a completely new thing to me, so it was right out of my comfort zone, and I've ended up loving it and met hundreds of brilliant people, had tons of different brilliant experiences.
So how do you go from obviously going to your local gym, learning the kind of fundamentals, and then getting to the point where your Braveheart Promotions, who's run by, is it Chris Duncan?
No, it's Stevie Ray who runs it.
Stevie Ray, sorry.
That's
going to get chin now. No. Both, you know, UFC, you know, former UFC. How do you go from like local to get into something like that? How does that go?
Well, just gone about is they promoted their first show in April of last year, and then they done the second one, November, the one I was on. So my coach put my name forward, and it was just as simple as that, and I was matched up within a couple of weeks.
And is that some buzz?
It's when you first hear the fight's been announced and it's confirmed, it does give you a drive to start getting your head stuck right into training, start getting prepared. And
did you feel there was a difference, like a different intensity from, I'm just doing this like as a kind of like unwinding, this is chill,
Aye.
to, oh, I actually need to do this because somebody else is doing it on the opposite side.
Aye,
That's
'cause-
coming to get me.
There's somebody planning to take my head off, and the nerves were definitely there. It was just I had to trust in my training, be disciplined, trust in my mental training, my meditation, be kind of in a. How should I explain?
It's almost like kind of getting into a flow state, isn't it? You know,
Aye.
like you're not wanting to think too much about it and just let it kind of
No.
come. You've done all the training.
Aye, because you can get really drained mentally and physically through your camps. So I think recovery, rest days are one of the most important things.
Well, you mentioned obviously today's a rest day for you. That's how we had the opportunity to come down and actually have this conversation. What's a rest day like for you then? How do you go about it? You know, apart from doing your washing and hanging it out.
That's just daily life, I think, mate. I would mainly go to saunas, steam rooms, make sure you get a good stretch mobility routine, foam rolling, use a massage gun as well, a hot bath, Epsom salts, and then just kind of mentally resetting, a lot of reading, a lot of meditation, mainly just kind of, how would I explain it?
A lot of the time it's hard because you, like somebody might be like on a rest day, like I do all my stretches and that, whereas you do your reading, somebody's like, I actually just cook like a 3-course meal. And you know, like that's the kind of way, it's everybody's different that way. So,
A lot of folk are different to what.
obviously staying in plan with a meal, like I'm not talking about going out deep frying and that, but you know, there's obviously everybody's different that way, but as long as you can find that way to de-stress, and you're talking about Epsom salts, detox the body and that, you're getting yourself set up for it. So obviously you're 4 weeks out.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm not going to say the nerves, but the butterflies must start to be kicking in now.
The day, as it gets closer to the fight, the nerves will be there. That's just natural, and it happens.
And as the fight kind of gets closer, like how are you feeling? Like are you feeling good about this? Like weight wise, are you feeling good? Aye.
Right
Is there
now,
much
I'm
of a cut?
feeling. Well, right now I'm sitting about 76, 77, so 7 kilogram I need to cut for weight day.
Right. And how do you find that? Like, is that tough or?
It can be. I done my last one, and I was in the sauna doing a water cut, and that was pretty horrible.
You see videos like, remember, did you ever see the one of Chris Cyborg, and it's just like,
Aye, oh my God, there's no water in your body at all. You just feel horrible.
I know, but and then the rehydration, and you're like, you know, I don't think folk realise that it's like, you know, you get down to that weight, you've done it, but then it shoots back up, you know, after that.
You get your water, you get fit, you get carb back up, and the weight just shoots right back up.
That must be some relief though, like once you do that must be like...
As once you weigh in, you've got that relief, you can finally go and get something to eat after it and get rehydrated.
So I obviously don't want to delve too deep into like the game plan, because that's between you and your coaches, want to make sure you're all right. But you were mentioning obviously you were happy, you know, enough with your striking, you're going to work in your grappling and that. How have you been finding that?
It's definitely been a stepping point for me. I feel like my grappling has really been one of my weaker points through my training, so I wanted to start working on that a lot more. I feel like I've made some really good progression with it through this fight prep, so I think I'm going to go out and show my talent.
No, that's what it's about, man. Is there like, you know, like on the kind of build up to it, when you're like focusing on it, is that something you're like, right, at the very beginning, at the inception of the kind of training camp, that's what we're going to be looking at, like that's where we want to be?
Aye, I noticed that for my last fight, like, when I was in my grappling exchanges, I wasn't performing the best. I was going the back foot with the grappling a lot, so that made, we went and looked back to that, so that's gave me the insight of to start grappling a lot more and get more dominant on the floor.
Is that something you mean, obviously you said yourself you enjoyed the striking side of it? Was it I found when I was doing the grappling, especially when you don't know what you're doing, like you've got guys that are maybe like, you know, I'm a relatively big guy, but you've got guys that are half your height, like ragdolling you for wanting a bit of time. It takes it out of you, and you're like, I don't know if I really want to do this. Did you find that when you've got somebody who's quite high level, you're just like, this is actually really uncomfortable, but it pushes you to be better?
Aye, it does. There's some sessions you can come out and you've had a hard sparring session or a hard kind of any session really, and it can the thoughts can be like, is this really fun for me, that sort of thing, but that ultimately pushes me to go harder for the next session and just try and get better every time.
So what does a week look like for you then? Obviously we're on Sunday at the moment recording. This is a rest day for you.
Yep.
If you're already talking about it, what is a week for you, and how do you balance that with obviously working as well? Like how does that work for you? So a week.
Well, I do a lot of I do most gym sessions before work and early in the morning. So on Monday I'll go and do strength and conditioning, weights, and then my cardio, my sprints, and then I'll go to work, and then after work I'll go do my skills training, and then that'll be Monday summed up. For Tuesday, with something that I like running in the morning, or just it'll be something like maybe go down to the gym, work on some sort of technique or bag work or anything, shadow boxing, and then Tuesday work, and then onto the Tuesday night will be my other skills training. Wednesday is usually a rest day because I've done the 2 double sessions Monday, Tuesday, so I want to give my body a rest for the Wednesday. Thursday will just be the 1 session, which will be the skills training later on in the night. Friday will be another double session with strength and conditioning, and then skills training later on in the night after work. Saturday would just be the 1 morning session, and then that will be Sunday rest. So it's quite jam-packed.
No, of course. And obviously you're travelling up to Clydebank, you know, about an hour travel for there.
Aye.
How do you use that time? Because I always found that when I used to commute to work, it could be wasted time if you've done nothing with it, but you can actually do a lot. You can, like you're saying, you can read, you can do your journaling and that. Do you find that you're using that time productively as well?
Aye, I try and, it's because I've not got a lot of time in between work and go to training, I try and use every minute I've got of the day to try and, use it efficiently as possible.
Of course.
Even travelling, while I'm travelling to training, try and do something that's purposeful and not just kind of just sit and look out the window or something. Aye.
I know the sights of Clydebank are, you know, lovely, but, you know, no, absolutely. It's about using that time effectively. Obviously, you've got your fight coming up. You know, no overlooking it, but do you have a trajectory in mind of where you want to go, or are you just taking it one fight at a time and just seeing how it's going?
I think I will just be taking it one fight at a time and see how it goes. I have got a passion for this. I feel like this is something I really do want to do. And as I said, I've had countless brilliant experiences through doing this and met brilliant people. So it's something I definitely want to continue and be in the martial arts world for.
It's like a community, you know, like in the times I've went, even just going to a gym, you know yourself, you kind of, even if you don't talk to folk, you start talking to folk because they're there, and everybody helps one another. So
you start meeting great folk, start learning all about different people, and it's a good environment overall, I think, for my martial arts. Just
kind of taking it back to obviously when you first started, it was a local gym. You went to, it was a Tam's boxing gym, is that correct? In Glengarnock. And when you got in there, did you find there was like, you know, you would have been, I'm assuming, like 19, 20 at the time?
Yeah, I started 20.
Was that like an intimidating kind of going into a kind of environment like that?
Oh, aye. I was, it was right out of my comfort zone because I'd never done any martial arts before. So getting in there, it was right nerve-wracking for me.
And how did that go? Like, were you made to feel at ease quite easily? Like, was it, because it's one of those ones, like, I totally get what you're saying, like, there is an intimidation factor, but I think when you go in and actually you get that barrier of just walking in the door, it's like enough to be like, this guy's walked in here, you know, he must be at least keen enough to come in. So
yep, but the boys at the club make it easier they make you feel welcome.
No, brilliant.
It's definitely a good environment, a good community down there. And they made me feel welcome for the second I started, and my skills progressed over the past 3 years. And, it was a brilliant gym down there, brilliant boys, brilliant coach.
It's like, I mean, Craig Leroy's been there for a while. Through it's not going to the gym, unfortunately, when he was a barman. I knew Craig, so
he's a brilliant guy, man. He done a lot for me when I first started in the martial arts.
No, you've got, like, as I say, it's a good foundation. I think you can't build a house in sand, so to have that foundation down there, gain that experience, and then look at where you've came now, it's crazy, and the dedication you've got, like the travelling you must be doing each week, you know. I mean,
it's a lot of travelling.
You've got a pretty intensive job, kind of doing landscaping and that. So
so it's no easy through the day and then straight into the hard stuff at night time.
So how do you, like, say unfortunately, we don't stay in like Southern California. The weather is temperamental, to say the least. After a long day, like, is there sometimes where you're like, this is tough, but you got it out. Like, how do you push yourself through that? What is it that makes you do that?
I guess it's a fear. Well, not really a fear. I guess the fact is, like, I know the situation I'm getting into. I'm getting in front of maybe 1,000 people, in front of friends, family, and I want to impress. I want to show my capabilities and show my talent out there to the martial arts world and to other promotions like that could be watching. That kind of pushes me harder to get to my goal.
No, I found for myself, because I used to struggle, like, and I still do. Sometimes it's just difficult to get up and do anything. You know, it's not just like going to work's one thing, but going out and doing that run or going to that gym session and that. But a lot of the time it's like accountability, and that's the big thing for me. I need to know that I can do it myself, but if I've got somebody that's relying on me, like, that's what pushes me. So no, like when you've got like that 1,000 people, family, friends coming up, you want to
I want to impress, 100%, mate. How should I try and explain it?
Listen, there's no time on it. Listen, in the words, there's no pressure in hear what you're doing. So just take your time if you're finning the words.
It's mainly like, how would I explain? It's accountability for that.
The fact is, you're doing it. That's the main thing. Sometimes there's these intangibles that I can't put any words why I do something. I just do it, and that you've obviously got that drive in you. You've got family, friends coming to see you.
But it's the kind of, a lot of time.
I don't even think that you would need that. I think you seem like the kind of person that you've got that drive already. You could be, fighting in front of 100 people that are strangers, and you'd still go out and do the exact same as what you're doing now. And that's the levels to this game, like sports people and that. Like, it's kind of, you'll know yourself without naming names. You'll see somebody who's made it big and made millions.
Yep.
And they're a different fighter to the guy that was scrapping, just to make a living, and they're at a different level to the game. So it's, what is it to say, like, it's hard to get out of your bed when you're wearing like satin pajamas or something.
I will.
So you've got that drive clearly to kind of do that. Is there like, a pressure there? Obviously, you're saying family and friends. Do you use that as like motivation to kind of get you going? Then is that how you would say it?
I would say aye. There's definitely a motivator there, knowing I've got family and friends watching, but a lot of it is personally for myself. Like, I want to
do what's best for you.
I do what's best for me, mate. It's, how would I plan this in the words? Aye, well, it's kind of,
it's one of the ones, like, as I say, there's just a feeling. It's like, it's almost like you can't teach it, it's instinctual. It's like it's baked into you.
I'm struggling to get the put into the words.
No, but it's like one of the ones. It's like if you go and ask somebody who's got like amazing genes, like, what made you want to become like a bodybuilder? You're like, it's like, it's just in me. You know what I mean? It's like you can't teach like a tiger not to hunt. You know what I mean? It's just it's there. So they'd struggle to put that into words.
Once I kind of found the love for it, that was me kind of completely glued.
No, that's brilliant. Is there, growing up in that, was there like, when you were getting understanding what like kind of mixed martial arts was there a fight, or was there a fighter that you gravitated towards, like kind of back in the day?
Well, obviously I didn't know, as a kind of like as Conor McGregor was kind of blowing up, and that's kind of was my introduction into it, because how big he made the sport at the time.
Current situations aside, I think, listen, for 2016, I mean, it was crazy. That build up to the kind of Jose Aldo fight, it was mate, there's nothing like that.
Completely changed
the game.
Brought a lot of attention to mixed martial arts through that. That was kind of my introduction to it, first finding out what it was. Yeah,
of course. I mean, I'm thinking like 2016 was like a couple of years ago. It's actually 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Crazy, mate, isn't it?
It's wild. I first got into it, I think it was like UFC. I want to say like I remember seeing like old clips like back in the day, and there was like video games that were like terrible, like for like the kind of early 2000s. And then once, you know, I'm ashamed to admit I never had like a computer till like the kind of late 2000s. And I remember like watching it, and I'm sure it was I want to say like Rashad Evans and Chuck Liddell, like, and it was just like the worst knockout you've ever seen. Like, it is brutal. And I just remember being like, what is this? And then a game came out, and it was like the demo for it came out, and it was like Shogun and Chuck Liddell, and me and my mate just used to sit and play this demo for hours, like a couple of beers and just sit and play it. And see, after that, you know, like, we're hooked. My ma, who had like no martial arts bone in her body, fucking loved it. She was daft on it. And then it was like Muay Thai, so there used to be like you've got like the Ultimate Fighter, which you know the UFC done, but there also used to be like a boxing show, and it was like originally I think it was like Sylvester Stallone and like Sugar Ray Leonard. It was called The Contender, and then there was a Muay Thai version of it.
Right.
John Wayne Parr was in it, like, you know, back in the day. And it would go to the point actually like, I named one of my dogs like Thai, as in just after it. Never done any kind of Muay Thai in my life. Just like, had a passion to watch it, man, and that kind of fell into it. So me and my mum used to sit up to hours watching like UFC. I remember the Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, the first fight where it was like, you know, 20 seconds and he wraps a triangle around Chael Sonnen. Crazy, and like me and my mum were up at like 4 a.m, like,
This is screaming.
As I say, if anyone kind of knew my mum, would have been like, actually, you know what, like, that's no Alice. Like, I don't know. You know, maybe she would scrap, but she wouldn't be throwing legs around folk anyway, you know, choking them. So no, it's it's one of the ones I think, like I said to you before, there's like different levels to get, like, or different generations. You got like that first, just the bare knuckle, it's human cockfighting. Then when it became like kind of the Zuffa side, you had your Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddells, Randy Couture's, and then, you know, like, you've got it to what it is now, and it's just like, you've got such a high level. It's crazy.
The sport has really evolved over the last 20, 30 years. It's got
it's like, if you were to watch, like, I'm thinking like boxing, if you were to look at boxing for like, you know, 1890, 1900 to like 1930, it probably still looks quite similar. It's if you watch MMA even in the last like 15 years, you've got fighters I think that transcend like into greatness. You've got like your GSPs. I mean, like John Jones, those kind of guys that are just like, nobody's touching them. You know,
nobody's getting near them.
it's crazy. But then, you know, like, you've got the fighters that you just end up falling in love with. You know, like, I loved I don't know if you've ever seen any fights with like Diego Sanchez. Man, like, just absolute nutter. You know, like, but just puts on the best fights ever, man. Like him and Clay Guida were like unreal, man, unreal. So no, I think as well, I don't know about you, did you ever watch like the wrestling back in the day? And it like it almost felt like a natural progression. Like, you get to an age, like, I don't know if I can keep watching this. And you kind of move into it. Plus, it helped as well. I was at kind of perfect age. I grew up watching Brock Lesnar. And then when he transitioned into being like the UFC heavyweight and came in, he was just like an absolute freight truck, man. Like, just
running through a lot of the heavyweight division.
I remember coming into school after the Frank Mir fight, and he got caught with that, like, I think it was like an ankle lock. It was like, you're just like, I can't believe that happened. And then me and my mate stayed up to, like, you know, oils watching UFC 100 and seeing that, and it was like the way he came in, and it's like a guy that doesn't, a guy that cuts weight to get to 260, spinning on top of somebody, just, mate.
It's crazy. The guy's size was ridiculous, man.
And then the pace and that, it's one of those kind of great what ifs. There's so many within the sport where you're like, I wonder what would have happened, but like, if Brock Lesnar had like diverticulitis, what would he have been like? You know, if Cain Velasquez hadn't been injured as much, like, it's crazy.
There's a lot of big what ifs in the sport. Definitely, man.
I think that goes back to like, obviously you're talking about your recovery and that. Maybe these guys just like work that hard. They work themselves into like a ground. Diverticulitis is a bit different. That's like obviously a kind of quote intestinal issue. That's different. But you know, like, a lot of guys, I think, probably feel like they can go to the gym 7 days a week, you know, and be there. It probably works for some guys.
I reckon it does work for some people. Some folk, at least in my personal opinion, I think the rest in recovery is essential.
Well, you said that earlier on. You know, you can burn yourself out physically and mentally. Like, I've got a newborn, and I'll be honest, I might be physically tired, but the mental burnout is just, it's like, I'll be like, right, I'm going to lay awake, making sure they're all right, and next thing you know, you're waking up with them, and they're like ready to feed you. Like, I fell asleep there. So it's like, if you're out, you know, you're working, you're not taking that time. Even, I think, when you're travelling, you know, if you're journaling, if you're reading, that to me is like a way of decanting some of this, the mental kind of...
the kind of mental chatter in there.
And gets it out. Is that something you've done before you got into this, or was that through this you got into it?
This was through this. I was reading on stuff, studying, and they mentioned a lot about a lot of this game being mental.
Oh, 100%.
A lot of game need to be mentally strong. So I've started looking into a meditation technique called mindfulness.
Right.
And I've been using that a lot this prep. I've been finding that I feel that it gives you a bit of distance for you and your thoughts. It's kind of hard to explain
it's almost like there's a detachment. You need to kind of detach from what you're doing. What I used to do is I had these like massive, they weren't Beats, but and they weren't Sennheiser, but they were these massive headphones, and I was usually listening to this like pure mellow, like kind of chill electric music.
Aye.
And I would just like lie in my bed, and it got to the point, and it happened a few times. You hear folk talking about going to the isolation pods and going to saline water and that. So I was on top of my bed, and I swear to God, like I felt like I was part of it. I think I must have just and this was with no like chemical activities here. This was just music and darkness. But that was it, man. It just you pure felt like you sank into the bed, and that's you're totally detached, and you're like you're in the moment. Those kind of things. It's like it just. You feel like a new man. It's better than sleep sometimes, just getting rid of some of the guff that kicks about in your napper, you know what I mean? So,
even 10, 20 minutes a day starting can be a big benefit mentally.
Oh, 100%. And I think you say that 10, 20 minutes a day, but, like, if you do that 7 days a week, you know what I mean? That's well over an hour.
And eventually it starts building up. I've maybe did it for about half an hour, 40 minutes I've built up into now.
That's amazing.
And don't get me wrong, it can be difficult sometimes. It's called, the heat starts racing constantly when you're just sitting there.
I think, do you not find as well, like when you're doing that, you'll keep, if you put it off, it's almost like, it is like a workout. It's like, if I don't do this, it reflects in your discipline. It's like, I'm doing this. I find sometimes, like, if you're recording and editing and that, so you can do, the recording's easy, but when you have to sit down and like edit, it's the same thing that, you've done all your work during the day, let's break it down and see what we've done.
Aye.
Do I have to do it because I've done it? No, well, you need to make sure that you are understanding and breaking it down now. So
I do feel a difference in a day I don't meditate and on a day that I do. So I do feel the mental difference.
Absolutely. And for meditation for you, how would that, if you can tell us your secrets, how would you meditate? Like, what's meditation for you? It might be something totally different for somebody else. How do you go about it?
Literally sitting in a room, shut the curtains and just sit in silence.
And you'll do that for what, like 15, 20 minutes? Or is that up to your 40 minutes? Sorry,
you can build it up to 40 minutes. I do an assisted one at the start, and then I do a self one that lasts about 30 minutes.
Nice.
So it's a kind of course thing I was doing. The guy just talks you through and explains what mindfulness is and explains the benefits of it that helps your brain, and it builds something called your prefrontal cortex. And that's I think that's for kind of impulse, kind of thought, decision making,
so
that part of the brain.
Kind of control these kind of like impulsive thoughts and that?
Yep.
No,
it also helps with, for me, in fight nerves.
Well, that's it. Well, you're saying impulsive thoughts. We mentioned, like Chael Sonnen's second fight, throws this ridiculous spinning, spinning back fist, gets caught, impulsive thought. If you've been doing your meditation in your fight that's coming up, you might be in a situation where, like, it's intense, things might be not going your way, but wait a minute, can control this moment, and next thing you know, you're back in control. So,
if you feel like you're falling behind in a fight and you keep, that's just personally, I think if you keep letting your thoughts run in and you're already behind, it might already make it worse.
Of course,
when you're in there.
You've done your 12 weeks of prep. You know where you can win it. What you don't want to be doing is feeling like you're behind, like you're saying, and then the impulse control's no there, and you start throwing like haymakers and roundhouse kicks. You're going to get caught and you're going to gash yourself. So.
No, that's exactly what it is. That's kind of helps with decision making in the moment. It's especially helps with fight nerves, that kind of butterfly. It helps with. And
is that something you would do before a fight? Like, I mean, I know you've had your charity fights, you've had your first, kind of professional fight. You've got your one coming up. Do you use your meditation techniques before the fight? Is that something you'll do? Like, just take a couple of minutes and just.
I would just take my earphones before my first amateur fight. I just took my earphones, went into a corner for 20, 30 minutes before I started warm up, and just sat there. And I just, obviously with the noise and that about, I just stuck something on in my earphones.
So what would be a playlist for you? What would you be listening to?
It would mainly just be even just the sound of rain and just a storm or a video, even just the sound of a fireplace, anything just to.
I never really obviously I said to you, I was listening, it was Deadmau5. I Remember is the song that I used to like float off my bed on. But if having a child, I never realised just the importance of like, don't you ever use white noise or a white noise generator?
Yep, I've heard of white noise.
Mate, like, I've never had sleeps like this before, man. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable, man. I was reading about this stuff, it's called sleep maxing, so it's like maximising your sleep.
Right.
You've got like Luke maxing and all that. It's
I've
like, this is something I'm like, I can get behind this sleep maxing, I can do this. No bother. So it's like you're saying, dark rooms, taking your time off your phone for like an hour before bed, and white noise is just a game changer, man. I've seen myself as well. The wee man gets a bit bored with the white noise now, so it's hairdryer noise. It just wipes him out, man. So you'd be amazed. I remember there was an interview, and it was Wayne Rooney of all people, and he used to fall asleep with a hairdryer, and it got to the point he left it on that long, it like burst into flames.
Aye, fuck it. Nearly burnt the house down.
So it's like there's a lot safer ways to do it, but if you've never done it, like I would recommend just jumping on Spotify, although it might ruin your algorithm and start telling you about like all these different white noises, but certainly like white noise and you're doing it with the rain, the fire, anything like that. I think you can focus on anything. I don't know, man. The best sleeps I've had is a caravan in the middle of a rainstorm, man.
It's crazy what folk are. It's a lot of down to personal preference. Folk can fall asleep to, as you said, hairdryer noises. It's caravan been out in the middle of the forest somewhere.
Have you ever done like kind of meditating out with like obviously the kind of environment that you're in now, or have you ever took yourself out? Have you ever done a thing called like forest kind of bathing or that? Where you
I've never done it outside or like kind of out in nature. That's something I'd do what I do.
Oh, 100%. It's something that me and my wife done. We went to, I think it was Arica, somewhere up north anyway, and it was a case of you go in. It sounds stupid, but you take your shoes off. You kind of bed your feet into the kind of the bracken or the ground, no bracken, but and you just become one. And it sounds like pure weird, and you kind of sway with the wind. But mate, you come out feeling like a new man. You'll know that with your meditation. And
you do feel mentally clearer.
Oh, the clarity's unreal. So with the fight kind of coming up, you seem like you're pretty well set. How would someone get a ticket to go to your fight?
The tickets could either contact me directly on Instagram, or they can go into the Braveheart Promotions page on Instagram and get the ticket link via there. And
what is the handle that you'd be using for that? Is it Euan_Borthwick?
That would be the Instagram, Euan_Borthwick.
I'll get that in the links. And that fight is coming up July?
Yep, July 18th, up in Fife Ice Arena in Kirkcaldy.
That's exciting. Fife Flyers, is that who's playing there, I think? The ice hockey team?
Aye.
Hopefully they'll know. They'd be pretty easy, man. They just punch. You know, just take them down to the ground. They'll have all their gear on.
As long as they've not got a hockey stick, another one will be all right.
No slashing going on here. No, so you've got Braveheart Promotions. You've got your fight coming up. Is there anything that we've not covered that you feel like we should? Because I think that's been a really in-depth, interesting conversation there, you.
I feel like I've covered everything. I've kind of covered everything I've had to say in all aspects of what's going to happen in the fight, how we're prepped, how we recover, that kind of thing.
You're at the beginning of this journey.
This is
your second fight's coming in. It's an exciting time. I'm really looking forward to, looking at the results. You seem like you're putting on the work, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be a successful outcome. I just want to say thanks for taking the time out of your day to come and
of
do
course,
this.
my man, anytime.
It's been a fast 40 minutes, man.
I know, it's flew in, isn't it?
It's been good. So if you want to get in contact with the show, you can do it at contact@thewhiskysourohour.com is our email.
Yep.
Sorry, I was going to say Instagram handles. Our Instagram handles is at contact@thewhiskysourohour.com, and then also you've got contact@thewhiskysourohour. You can do that on Facebook as well.
Yep.
Listen, man, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It has been. Thank you very much for that, mate.
No, it's good. It's good. I've been Thomas Waddle. This has been Euan Borthwick, and you've been listening to the Whisky Sour Hour. Cheers.